The hillside mansion was silent. So silent, you could almost hear the wheelchair wheels rolling across the stone floors. This was the home of Elena Ashford, a 36-year-old millionaire, paralyzed from the waist down after a terrible accident. Known for being impossible, she'd gone through over 20 assistants in just 6 months. None lasted more than a few days. That morning, the door opened. A man in a worn jacket walked in. This was Caleb Rowan, a 33-year-old single father, taking the job because he desperately needed money for his daughter. Elena looked at him, her eyes cold as ice. "You'll quit in 3 days, just like everyone else." Caleb just offered a slight smile. "We'll see." About that, before we begin, I'd love to know where in the world you're watching this from. Drop a comment and let me know. Now, let's get into the story. Caleb Rowan had learned that desperation makes you brave in ways pride never could. He was accepting a job he'd normally refuse because his 7-year-old daughter, Maya, needed food and stability more than he needed dignity. The position as personal assistant to Elena Ashford had come through an agency specializing in difficult placements. "I'm going to be honest," the agency coordinator had said. "Miss Ashford is extremely challenging. She's gone through 23 assistants in 6 months. She's paralyzed from a climbing accident, and she takes her anger out on everyone." The PA was excellent, nearly triple what Caleb was making. Enough to catch up on rent and buy Maya new shoes. "I'll take it," he said, without hesitation. The mansion sat on a hillside, all glass and expensive emptiness. It felt more like a showroom than a home. A tired-looking housekeeper let him in. "You're the new assistant. Good luck. You'll need it." Elena Ashford was sitting in a motorized wheelchair by the window, staring out. "Miss Ashford, I'm Caleb Rowan. I know who you are." Her voice was sharp. "You'll quit like the rest." "I don't plan to quit. They never do, but they always leave." She finally turned. "Did the agency tell you I'm difficult?" They mentioned it. Difficult as being polite. "I'm a nightmare." "Then it's good. I'm here to do a job. Tell me what you need." Elena seemed caught off guard, but her expression quickly hardened. "Fine. I need my medication. Bring me the blood pressure pills and the pain medication." Caleb brought the bottles and held them out in his right hand. "Wrong hand," Elena snapped. "I take pills with my left hand." Caleb calmly switched hands. Elena knocked the bottles to the floor. "Too late. You messed up. Pick them up." Caleb collected the bottles without a word. "You're supposed to be angry now," she said, goading him. "Supposed to walk out." "I'm not angry," Caleb said, setting the bottles on a table. "I need this job. I have a daughter who needs me, so I'm not quitting over some spilled pills." "You want me gone. You'll have to fire me. Until then, I'm here to help." Elena stared at him. "You have a daughter?" "Yes. Maya. She's 7. For the first time." A flicker of something other than anger crossed Elena's face. "Your duties start with physical therapy. I hate every minute of it, and I'll probably make you hate it too. I can handle it." The therapy session was as unpleasant as promised. Elena complained, criticized, and even threw a resistance band across the room. Caleb just picked it up. "You're doing it wrong," she snapped. "Show me the right way, then." "I can't." "That's the whole point. I can't do anything right anymore." "Then help me do it right for you. Tell me what needs to be adjusted." This collaborative approach seemed to throw her off. By the end, as Caleb helped her to bed, she looked smaller, more vulnerable. "You're not scared of me," she observed. "No. I've seen people at their worst." "You're not scary. You're just hurt." As he left the room, he heard her quiet voice. "Yo, Kit." They always do. That first week, Elena tested him constantly, but Caleb remained calm. By day 5, something shifted. Caleb was clearing up when a photo fell from a shelf. It showed Elena on a mountain summit, alive with joy. "That was 3 years ago," Elena said quietly. "Before the accident. I was free climbing. My equipment failed. They said I was lucky to be alive. It didn't feel lucky." "You miss it," Caleb said. I miss everything. The movement. The freedom. You're only stuck if you stop trying. Easy for you to say. She laughed bitterly. Actually, it's not, Caleb said, his tone shifting. My wife died 4 years ago, left me with a 3-year-old. I was stuck in grief and fear. But I realized being stuck was a choice. It's not simple, but it's a choice. That evening as Caleb was leaving, Elena called out. Rowan, you lasted the week. I'll be here Monday, too. Why? Because you need help. And because I think you're not as impossible as you want people to believe. For the first time, Elena almost smiled. Don't tell anyone. I have a reputation to maintain. To next week. Caleb had to bring Maya to work. Elena was not pleased. I told you I don't like children. But Maya, fearless and bright, walked right up to her. Hi, Miss Ashford. Daddy says you live in a castle. It looks like one. Do you have a dragon? Despite herself, Elena's lips twitched. No dragon. That's sad. I can draw you one. Later, Maya presented her masterpiece. A woman in a wheelchair with a friendly dragon. The dragon's name is Spark, Maya explained. She helps the knight go on adventures. See? The knight can't walk, but Spark carries her to amazing places. Elena stared at the drawing. Why did you make the knight unable to walk? Because you can't walk, right? Daddy says everyone should see themselves in stories. So I made a knight like you. Elena looked at Caleb, then back at Maya. Can I keep this drawing? Maya beamed. I can make you a unicorn next. That day, something truly changed. Elena was less hostile, asking questions about Maya. A routine developed. The ice around Elena's heart was beginning to. Caleb learned that true care wasn't just about the physical tasks. It was about the conversations during therapy, the shared moments of silence during pain. As Elena started participating more, her anger softened. One evening, during a tough exercise, she gritted her teeth. I hate this. I hate not being able to do this, Eileen. I know, Caleb said. Do you really know what it's like to have your body betray you? Not the same way, he admitted, but I know what it's like to feel helpless. Watching my wife Claire fade, that's its own kind of paralysis. Elena paused. How did you cope? Badly at first, he confessed. Then one night, my daughter Maya had a nightmare. I realized I was so lost in grief, I was failing her. I had to choose differently. Just like that? Not immediately, but I started making small choices. Getting up, eating, showing up for Maya. Eventually, those small choices added up to a different life. What if I don't have anyone to show up for? You have yourself, Caleb said directly. That should be enough. The words hit Elena hard. Later that week, she pushed herself in therapy without complaint. You're doing really well, Caleb encouraged. Don't patronize me. I'm not. Your core strength is measurably better. Look at the logs. You're holding positions longer. Elena studied the charts. Surprised, it doesn't feel better. Progress rarely does in the moment. You're focused on what you can't do. My ex-boyfriend said the same thing before he left. Said I was too focused on my limitations. When did he leave? Caleb asked gently. About a year after the accident. Said he couldn't handle the burden. Direct quote. I'm sorry. That's rough. It made me realize nobody wants this long-term. Why I push people away. They're going to leave anyway. Except I haven't left, Caleb stated. I need you to hear this. I'm not leaving because you're difficult, or because this job is hard. I'm staying because this is my job, because Maya needs stability, and because frankly, you're more interesting than you give yourself credit for. Interesting, she scoffed. You're smart, observant, and have a dark sense of humor that actually makes me laugh. Yeah, you're stubborn and infuriating sometimes, but that's just human. Elena was quiet. My ex said I was too much. Too broken. Your ex was wrong. You're not broken. You're adapting. That's not the same thing. You really believe that? I do, he said. A bit of her armor seemed to fall away. Thank you, she said softly, for staying. You're welcome. And for what it's worth, you're one of the easier people I've cared for. My last placement tried to bite me. Twice. Elena let out a genuine laugh, a sound that transformed her face. Tried to bite you. They spent the rest of the session trading caregiving horror stories. For the first time, the exercises felt less like a punishment. As Caleb was leaving, Elena stopped him. Caleb, would you consider bringing Maya tomorrow? This house is too quiet. Caleb smiled. She'd love that. 3 weeks in, Caleb found Elena staring at her phone, furious. My ex is getting married. He sent me an invitation. She threw the phone across the room. Caleb picked it up. Want to talk about it? What's there to talk about? He left me at my lowest, and now he's marrying some adventure blogger who can walk. Or maybe he's just being polite and you're projecting. Don't defend him. I'm not. I'm suggesting your interpretation might be colored by pain. You don't understand, she seethed. He made it clear I wasn't enough anymore. Then he was wrong. Was he? Look at me. What do I have to offer anyone? You're asking the wrong question, Caleb said, pulling up a chair to be at her level. It's not what you can offer, but who you are, beyond what you can do. Easy for you to say, actually. It's not. After my wife died, I had a complete mental collapse. Child services almost got involved. That's how close I came to losing my daughter. Elena's expression softened. What changed? On day 4, Maya, who was 3, climbed into bed with me and said, Daddy's sad, but Maya loves you anyway. Her simple acceptance gave me the strength to get help. You had a reason to get up, Elena murmured. And you have reasons too. Every time you do therapy, you're choosing to try. Every time you engage with me, you're choosing connection. Those are brave choices. They don't feel brave. They never do. Courage just feels like surviving one more day. Elena was quiet for a long time. I was so angry when he left, but part of me understood why. Elena, being a partner isn't about physical ability. It's about showing up emotionally. Real love doesn't leave when things get hard. They sat in silence for a moment. Finally, Elena sighed. I should probably respond to the invitation. Or, Caleb suggested, you could just delete it. You don't owe him anything. She managed a small smile. When did you get so wise? Years of therapy and countless parenting books. That evening, Caleb brought Maya over. Ms. Ashford looked sad, Maya observed. She got some difficult news, Caleb explained. Maya went right to Elena's wheelchair. When I'm sad, Daddy lets me help cook. Wanna help us? Elena was surprised. I don't cook. You can learn. You have hands, right? Before Elena could protest, Maya had wheeled her into the kitchen. Caleb adjusted the stovetop so Elena could safely stir the pasta sauce. And she stirred. She added seasonings. She tasted. It's good, she admitted. Really good. After dinner, Elena confessed. I haven't cooked in years. I assumed I couldn't. Lots of things are possible with adaptation, Caleb said. You just have to be willing to try differently. Maybe I've given up on too many things, and then start taking things back, one at a time. Later, Elena asked him, when was the last time you did something just for enjoyment? He couldn't remember. That's a problem, he told her. You're living like you're waiting for life to start again, instead of living the life you have now. Go to a park, a museum. Remind yourself that life is still happening. What if people stare? Their problem, not yours. You can't heal in isolation, will you calm? Ready? On 3, I'm going to help you stand. Caleb's voice was steady. Elena gripped the parallel bars. No, she said, but let's do it anyway. On the count of 3, she pushed with all her might. Kaylin supporting her torso. Her legs trembled, barely holding weight. But for 5 seconds, she was standing. Then her legs gave out. She collapsed back into her wheelchair. Dam Italiano. You did it. 5 seconds. That's incredible. Caleb's optimism felt like a slap. 5 seconds isn't standing. It's barely anything. It's 5 more seconds than you've managed in 2 years, he countered gently. That's progress. Elena's hands were shaking. It's not enough. It's enough for today. Tomorrow, we try for 6. What if this is it? What if this is as good as it gets? Kayla knelt to meet her gaze. Then this is as good as it gets, and you build a life within those parameters. But Elena, I don't think this is your limit. I've seen you push through pain, try things you said were impossible. You're not weak, you're just scared. I'm terrified, she admitted quietly. Terrified of trying and failing, of hoping and being disappointed. He nodded. I know, but fear doesn't protect you from disappointment. It just keeps you from possibility. She looked from the bars to his face. I want to try again. They tried again and again. By the 10th attempt, Elena stood for 8 seconds, face red with effort, tears of exhaustion and triumph streaming down her cheeks. I did it, she whispered. I actually stood. You did, Caleb said, and tomorrow you'll do it again. Over the next few weeks, Elena's standing sessions stretched from seconds to minutes. She started doing extra exercises, researching adaptive techniques. Caleb's daughter, Maya, noticed the change. One afternoon, she brought Elena a drawing. This is you being brave, she explained, pointing to a figure standing with support bars. Daddy says brave is being scared but doing things anyway. You're scared of standing, but you do. Italiano, that's brave. Looking at the drawing, for the first time in 2 years, Elena felt a glimmer of hope. 2 weeks later, she stood for a full minute. How does it feel? Caleb asked, beaming, terrifying, amazing. Like maybe I'm not as broken as I thought. You are never broken, he said softly, just healing. A few months later, the silent mansion was filled with the sound of Maya's laughter. Elena, who had graduated to taking steps with a walker, had asked Caleb and Maya to stay for dinner. I wanted to cook for you, she said, smiling. Over a meal filled with happy chatter, she grew serious. I'm not renewing the lease on this place, she began. I'm buying a new house. Smaller, more accessible, but with enough room for a family. She looked at them, her heart in her eyes. You and Maya have shown me what I was missing. You've become my family, and I was wondering if you'd consider making that official. She slid an envelope across the table. This is a business proposal. I'm starting an adaptive recreation program. I want you as my partner. But I'm also saying, I love you, both of you. Maya bounced in her seat. Daddy, she loves us. Kayla walked around the table and knelt by Elena's chair. I don't need to read it. The answer is yes. To the business, the partnership, the family. Yes, he confessed. I've been falling in love with you for weeks. Elena pulled him into a kiss, and Maya cheered. Finally, can I call her Mom? She asked. Tears filled Elena's eyes. I would be honored. That night, as Maya slept soundly inside, they sat on the balcony. I never thought I'd have this, Elena whispered. Love, family, a future. Neither did I, Caleb admitted. This is more than enough. This is everything. The family, formed from broken pieces and unexpected courage, had found their way home. If you believe that sometimes the greatest healing comes from simply refusing to give up on someone, subscribe to Single Dad Signal for more tales of unexpected love.